Aloha and welcome to the Path of Me podcast. I'm your host, Wendy Hutchinson, and I wanted to create a sacred space for soul to soul conversations with people sharing their light through their passion, power, and purpose. Thank you all so much for being here. Let me introduce my next amazing podcast guest. Hey everyone, welcome to the Path of Me. I'm your host, Wendy Hutchinson, and I have the lovely Dustin Hay with me today. He is an old friend. He's been on such an incredible journey of self-discovery. I wanted to have him on. Welcome, Dustin, and thanks for saying yes to the show.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me back.
So happy to see you. You were last on here, gosh, years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I think it
That's
was, which
yeah,
is incredible to think that much time passed. I'm sure you have been through a million versions of yourself since then,
most definitely. Uh, yeah, it seems to be day to day almost at this
right?
point.
Change is coming so fast. What are some of the, I would say, give me a couple of pivotal moments in your journey where you could have gone left, but you went right, like that really impacted the
Ooh,
positioning of you to get you here where you are today.
it's really it's really interesting. I wondered. I'm going to revert that back to like my parents. My parents had this amazing life, right? And they did wondrous things, and I always wondered like how they did that. And I thought it was big decisions and big, but
Mhm.
it's the small choices that we make, and then continuing on those paths of the choices that we make, we end up separating from the life that we knew we want, that we once had, and deviating that. And over time, it just seems to go and go and go. Um, how do I explain this? I just live in gratitude for how every day turns out. That's what I've noticed. I'll lay in bed every day and and recount my day and recount the choices I made each day and where it's led me to, what it gets me to, whether it gets me to getting out here in nature, whether it gets me to a challenge of some sort. And ultimately, I learned a big lesson from the challenge. Uh, it's I don't know, it seems to be just moment to moment, and the more present I stay, the more rich it is, the harder it is to talk to. Honestly, because the changes have been so significant. Sobriety is a huge change.
Yeah, that's a big one.
COVID was rough for us all.
Yeah.
Um, After some very um, protected moments, I will say, in being acting pretty reckless, um, through COVID, through being alone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I found myself alive and lucky to be alive,
Mm.
and so sobriety's been a big one. It hasn't been an easy one, but it's been a
Yeah,
big one.
it's really interesting, right? Because I think when you're on that sobriety journey, I mean, I've had a lot of experience of addiction with family members in my life. And watching them navigate towards sobriety and then maintain sobriety, it requires so much inner work
It,
to
yeah,
just stay the course because it's so easy to fall back into these thought patterns or behavior patterns or coping strategies, right? Even though you know maybe they're not working like they used to, it's just so comfortable. So what were some of the mindset changes you found yourself consciously making to just really walk a different path, a different kind of create a different kind of life?
Mm, memory, meaning meaning what I could retain. So drinking does a ton to your memory, right? There's a ton of memory loss in that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Smoking does a ton of memory loss of all of that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Joining the two, it depletes a ton. So I really feel grateful for my memory, like, and not to my path is presence, but what I can retain and what I can share has been the most valuable thing to me. To be clear, and the clearer I can get, the better this experience of life is.
Yeah, you're because you are in it,
Yes,
right?
I'm.
Like you're
It's
immersed in it, especially with
completely.
presence. I find that if I can be in presence, I can draw a moment watching a sunset out into what feels like minutes or hours, because
Yeah.
you're just taking it all in. You're just in this on wonder of the moment, right? The beauty of something or the experience of love or the friendship or whatever it is, right? And just
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
every aspect of our lives, it's so incredible. And I've noticed that as I practice, those same principles like gratitude, I just feel like it's also leading us towards acceptance because when you are not in gratitude, you're kind of fighting against you have this resistance, to what happened
Yes.
to you or how the day went or an expectation or need wasn't met.
Yeah.
Um, but there's something about being able to be in gratitude. I think it's just so interlaced with like um, compassion and kindness. It's just like it's interwoven
Yes.
with so many beautiful um, offerings that we can give to ourselves and then to others, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's the experience through self, and then the sharing of that experience, right? Instagram's a great example of that. I mean, we could go down a wild road of whatever our algorithm may be, but
Right.
it's helped me receive so much, especially from you, like daily from you.
Thank
You
you.
are unafraid to share your experience and to
Yeah.
to bring the light to everybody, right?
Yeah.
To share that light. It's
Thank
and
you.
and the consistency is beautiful in that.
Yeah,
Um,
I just celebrated 5 years of these daily messages that I've
wow,
5 years
it's
every
been 5 years.
day. I
That's great.
thought, wow, that's a lot of reels.
That is a lot of reels. That's a
You
lot
know,
of work.
thank you for being present to my my offerings on Instagram and social media. But I know you're very service oriented, and you were recently, before you took this position as a flight attendant, you were in service in a nonprofit. So tell me
Yeah.
what that pivot point was that got you to really take this leap of faith and go for it and change careers.
It was having confidence in myself. It was the building of confidence through the day-to-day action of being of service. It all kind of came to, and I really work hard to keep my ego out of this.
Yeah,
Though,
sure.
like when I voiced my intentions from the food bank to want to go to the airlines, and heavy manifestation on that. Like nothing could stop me, nothing could. And I got the most wonderful accolades and bon voyage and everything. And um, it was just beautiful to see that everybody was like, "You built it." I said, "No, this is all of us. I'm just coordinating.
Yeah,
I'm just supervising. I'm just making sure everybody stays safe while we do this service together."
yeah.
And it ended up being, they're like, no, 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 but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I was like, come on, the bigger picture of all this. They're like,
Um,
yeah, but you played a really
I
big
love
part
your
in that.
humility, but really, one person really can change the world. One person can really change an environment. And I think it's even more powerful when your agenda isn't to do that. You're
Yeah,
just showing up in integrity and kindness
yeah,
and true compassion and service
yeah,
that it organically happens because of your integrity and how you're able to really be there without an agenda, but just be present. Like, what do you need and how can I support you or this common mission that we have together, right?
yeah.
Um, but also, Dustin, I think it's so important for us to also be able to like receive that love and that
Mm,
those accolades and that those kind words, because I think that's one thing that I certainly had to learn for myself because when we're used to being in service, we're kind of organic givers and we're not really
yeah.
so good at receiving. So I love that you had the blessings of those words and that kindness and that feeling of community around you to send you off into your next adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned keep showing up. That's simply what it was. It was just showing up every day to the job, and all that was built. It was built over 3 years of time,
Mhm.
and I did all I could do, and I saw a post on Instagram, and somebody asked this gentleman, like, how do you know what you want to do next in life? He's like, what turns you on when you think about it?
Wow.
And I was at my house and I looked out of my window, and I lived up in the mountains there in California, and I looked out and I saw an airplane, and I was like, that's it. And I didn't know it would
Wow.
be flight attendant. I didn't know it would be, but it's just when you speak about the changes and the choices, right? That's as simple as it was. And then it stuck. And then I filtered through it, like, what would I like to do? My best friend's a flight attendant of 28 years. So, like, he's inspired me. He's led a very clean and active and exploratory life. And he and his girlfriend are both flight attendants. They fly around the world and have all these adventures together and do all these beautiful
Wow.
things. And
Yeah.
and I was just inspired by it. So I took that day to day showing up, being of service, and then translated it into my new job. And you mentioned acceptance. And my mantra for my new job is increased acceptance, decreased expectation. That's it.
That's the magic formula.
It is. It seriously is the magic formula every day, because with the changes in my job, I mean, some are heartbreaking. I just got off a pairing. So we worked for 3 days, and I was going to um, my favorite layover. It was Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I recommend anybody go there. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
Great Midwestern town. And I had 32 hours there due to another delay and mechanical delay with another airplane. They switched us around, and we went from 32 hours to 10 hours. So I basically got to sleep, get back on the airplane, and then come home. So, and I built this layover up because nobody else had been there before. And everybody was very excited, and we're going to do all the things and eat all the things and go to all the places to see. And it was just, deflated all of a sudden. Um, so I constantly am reminding myself and challenged to, like, stay there and everything's going to be okay. I got home, they didn't have any more work for me. So I was like, how can I make this day more spectacular? That was hard to ask myself,
Hmm.
but I did. I found myself in the mountains, enjoying this gorgeous, serene beauty, the changing of the colors of the leaves and all the
Yeah.
fall glory, and truly made the day like more spectacular.
Incredible.
So I just asked.
And you're in Colorado, so does it get any more beautiful than that? I mean, you can walk out your door and be in
This is,
nature in minutes,
yes.
which is I'm so jealous because I live in the city, as you know, because you trained here in Houston. It's different. It's a different vibe, that's for sure.
It is, but to your credit, you really show how Houston shines through like the sunset photos and all the beauty that
Yeah,
you see
I
and
mean,
share
really,
about too.
don't we find what we seek?
Oh, so
Whatever you're
much.
looking for, you'll find. Wherever you're at emotionally, you'll attract, right? And
Without
so it's so important for us. I think we both are very much light workers in our own way. And I think if we can just hold our frequency at our highest,
yeah.
which is something that over years and years I've just organically do, just from using all my tools and practices. And even in the challenging times, right? We live human lives. We're going to be challenged and disappointed, just like this layover thing. I mean, even that, if we can just really believe that, all right, I always just believe this is happening for a reason. I
Hmm.
don't know what that reason is, but I'm going to trust it. I'm just going to trust that I'm always being guided to my highest, even if I'm disappointed. Maybe something else is waiting around the corner, or
Completely.
maybe I avoided some catastrophe by not being in that place and time.
Yeah.
Like I ran late for something, or
Yeah.
maybe I avoided a crash, or you just don't know.
Yeah. Most definitely. I love
So
slow drivers. I mean, I accept it as that, like to that, like I'm going up the mountain slowly. I'm like, oh, take more in instead of, and avoid a crash, all those good things, right?
so funny.
It's
You're
great
so
to live in
funny.
that.
So I know it's challenging to be in a new job. I know your training was so intensive.
Crazy.
And this is a career pivot, not when you're 22 and your mind's all fresh and young, right? I was just marveling before we got on how you managed that incredible stress because you had so much riding on this. Like you got the job, but then you still have to go through all of this testing and all this training to make it stick, right? So, how did you cope with that? What were some of the tools that you utilized to
I,
manage that pressure? Was it just survival? Maybe a little
I
both.
mean, it did turn into that. It was, you know what? I utilized everyone else being in the same situation and sharing that together. Oh, this is hard to explain. The camaraderie of the pressure of all that we were experiencing, because it was all new information and a ton of it. And to feel the rigorousness of the pace
Mhm.
of which we experienced the training, to everyone at the end of the day, or going and studying with folks, or just talking in breaks and everything, it was like, oh my god, like this is something. This is really really something.
We're in it.
And I think in everybody sharing of the experience, we got to share what worked for us, and then pass it along to everyone. Of course, getting the right sleep,
Yeah,
and getting, and staying hydrated, and but
right.
but there's a lot around that too, right? Like the
Yeah.
stress disrupts that big time. So you we learned, it was really good to, I think the training is set up in a very specific way to train resilience. Like
Yeah.
it's straight into
Well, tell
resilience.
people how this training was. I mean, it wasn't just like a 30-hour work week of
Oh
school.
no.
Just
Yeah, yeah,
explain
10
to
hours a
everyone
day.
how rigorous this program was. You
Yeah,
weren't thinking,
yeah. 10 hours a day. Um, very few breaks. 6 days a week, solid. Like we had basically probably 28 hours to that we had to do laundry, that we had to, reach
get
out to
food.
friends and family. Yeah, exactly. Like go and feed ourselves. Thank you so much for taking me to the store that day
It
to
was
go
great.
shopping.
Yeah, no
And like
problem.
it was really intense in that way um, to put our priorities into place
Yeah.
where we where we could then fuel ourselves for, for the next, what was up and coming. And it was beautifully done, despite the stress and the strain and the information and the testing and all that kind of stuff. Um, it was beautifully done and supportive, as challenging as it was, as supportive as it became. And that's what I really enjoy about the job, is the continued support of of everything. Like there's teams on teams of people asking, how can we help you? How can we support you? Every
Wow,
week there's a little chat that we can
that's
be a part of
awesome.
to ask
Wow.
questions
So
of
the
things. There's
sense of
so much
community,
complexity.
would you say? The sense of community is
Very much so. Yeah, the
was
support
really
is,
helpful.
yeah, it's a complex job. It's a complex job in the way that it's organized and the way that it's run. Um, I've I've just kind of learned through experience and just like slowly kind of gaining that. So, I was working, most of the people I was with were more than half my age. Yeah, I know. So, but they were great on the tech side and understanding that. And we still do, and technology is great for that. We have a class group chat that, we have in iMessage, and just, we're just constantly sharing information and
I mean,
asking questions where clear.
that's so beautiful to not have be in it just alone. I think that's what causes a
Completely.
lot of suffering, right? And I think one of the things I've noticed um, about suffering is when people are really deep, they retreat and isolate. But
Very
I
much.
feel almost like I know it's counterintuitive, but that's when you should engage and
Yeah.
reach out, right, to
Yeah.
friends and the connection and community, even if you don't have friends nearby, but even just on a chat or a Zoom or a phone,
Yeah.
text, that really makes a difference when you're not feeling alone in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it increases your compassion when you can see that everybody's going through it, right?
Yeah.
It was a huge, huge understanding for compassion for
I mean,
me.
everybody's
Well,
handling stress differently too, right?
yeah.
Everyone's stress tolerance is different. So you're seeing the
Yeah.
best in people and the worst in people, right? Depending on where they are on that scale. But I'm so glad that I knew you'd make it through, but it must have felt so good just to check that box and be like, wow, now I can just get on with it.
Yeah. And what's wonderful about it, right? In choosing to evolve, right? And all of the beauty and all of the messiness that goes along with choosing to evolve. Every step that I've gotten through with this job, I'm like, whew, all right, top of the mountain.
But
And
you're
then,
never
but
there.
I'm not at that.
You're never
I'm just
there.
at a level
Yeah.
where all I see is just
It
another
just
climb
gets
ahead.
higher and harder. And it's like,
It's okay. Like, because I am used to seeing that next path up. It's okay. It's okay. It keeps. Oh, actually, it's not okay. It's challenging every time. It gets better and better, right? Like seeing that next path up and like, oh, I'm just at another level. I'm not to the top of
would
anything.
you say perspective has been a really big factor in being able to navigate that? Instead of
Very
being
much so.
defeated, you can look at it as an opportunity instead of um, backbreaking or soul crushing. You
Yeah.
just, okay,
Yeah.
all right, I'm just gonna double down. I'm gonna do this
Yeah.
and it's gonna work out, right?
It is. It is because it always does. We always survive it, no
We
matter what we
do.
go through. And what I found is the harder it is, the more grateful I am about the challenge afterwards. It
Yeah,
never makes the challenge easier. I was talking to my aunt about that today. We had a little breakfast, and it's her birthday today,
nice.
and she's that's what I shared with her. I said, the feeling of the challenge never gets easier, but maybe there's some alchemy inside the challenging aspect of, I don't want to repeat myself too much, of the challenge, right?
Right.
And like that it's hard on us, but like getting over that challenge, learning something from that, that's where the magic is. That's
Yeah.
where our resilience comes in. That's what, and it's just piece by piece, step by step. And yeah,
Yeah.
we might trip and fall down a couple levels as well too with all that. And that's all part of the growth pattern.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm just increment by increment, just learning to love that so much
I
more.
feel like we need to really love ourselves through this process.
Ooh, big time.
I was so hard on myself for a long time. I just, I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel enough and
Yeah.
all the things, right? All the wounds and you're fighting so hard to be seen and you're fighting so hard to be right and you're just fighting, 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 and
Yes.
then over time, if you're doing the work, if you're really looking at the wounds and you're really working at healing those inner stories and those programs and letting go of things, I don't know, you just start to change. Like you said, there's an alchemy that happens. Like the energy is still coming at you, the stuff is still coming at you, but somehow you're energetically alchemizing it and flowing with it and not pushing so hard against what
Yeah.
life is trying to show us, right? You just kind
Yeah.
of surrender more
Yeah.
and you're just flowing more. Like I've found for myself, I've really been in this flow state for a while. Also, it gives you courage, like for you to be bold and to go forward and do a career change. Like that takes courage to go, and there's steps involved and there's so many things that have to line up for that
Yeah.
magic to work out for you, right? But when
Very
you're
much so.
holding that vision and you're really just anchored in to yourself and you just
Yeah.
know that the highest and best thing's coming, even if you don't get it, something else is going to come. It's so powerful, right?
It is. It is. Speaking to that, loving ourselves. I in starting this job, this new job, and starting on the path to getting this new job,
Hmm.
I someone shared, if you're having trouble loving yourself, if you're having like, try this out. Just try this out. Grab a dry erase marker and go to your bathroom mirror and write, "I love myself because," or "I love you because." So you're reading it to yourself,
Right, right,
and
right.
then write a reason down.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
It was absolutely amazing, super powerful, and that that was a really powerful action to take slowly, day by day. Erase the one from the day before
Oh,
and
so it's a
put
new
up a
one
new one.
every day. It's not just
Yeah,
one
yeah,
time.
you do a new,
You have to
yeah,
think about it every day.
yeah, yeah,
Love that.
and that really helped me in my strength and perseverance to get to where I'm at.
Wow, I love
It's
that. That's, I think, gold right there.
it is so gold.
That
It is so gold.
suggestion.
It was one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten, and it was very simple. It was
Mm.
very day by day, but the build on that gave me, it helped to give me the confidence to like stand there and stand and
And receive
and
it, right?
love.
Say it
Yeah,
and actually
yeah,
receive it. Because in the beginning, you're probably not saying it with the confidence and the power of it, right? You're
without
just
a doubt.
kind of saying the words, but there's something about building one thing on top of another, it sounds like
Yes.
that really starts to shore you up over time. And it is kind of an incremental, this process of returning to love for ourselves is definitely incremental.
Oh,
But all those, like you said, little pieces are fortifying us, like internally and
yeah,
physically and mentally and spiritually. I
yeah,
think just you don't just frog jump and leap from here to there. It's just this really intentional, consistent, I think, practice.
yeah, yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, Dustin, what was something that you felt you had to let go of to step into who you're becoming?
Ooh, great question.
Because we're evolving, so we're letting go of aspects of ourselves, right?
Yes.
To evolve and grow. So, what were a couple things that you had to really let go of to level up into this next version of you?
I have to let go of. I had to let go of self-doubt. I
Right?
had to let go. I mean, through the loving myself practice,
Mhm.
it really, I believe it raised my frequency. It raised my confidence.
Yeah.
Me voicing that I was leaving, and people like, "What are we going to do without you?" And it like to know, like to hear my value,
Yeah.
and to one give it to myself each day with
Mhm.
the small little note, and
Mhm.
then two to say that I was moving on, and I was moving on at the peak of my career.
Yeah.
My brother did that, and I was amazed of how he did that. I was like, why would anybody do that? But I finally got to that point, and then I was able to make that jump myself. Like I'm at the top here. I'm going to jump into a way bigger pond now.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest fish in this pond that I can conceive of. I'm jumping into the ocean. I'm going to
What do you
go.
think you had to let go of? What was the thing or things?
I had to. I had to let go of the versions of myself that were unlovable. I had to let go of
Mm,
my,
that's good.
yeah, I had to let go of I really, I think it is, I think it's self-doubt.
Yeah.
I really had to let go of the repetition, just the thinking I couldn't do it, the thinking that that I didn't
So like
deserve it,
limiting
that I wasn't
beliefs,
strong enough.
like maybe
Yeah.
limiting beliefs about it.
Yeah, and complete limiting beliefs, and in the practice of learning to love myself and do it, you know, by writing it, I'm doing it by receiving that, by giving love to people,
Yeah.
and it really helped the whole process build on itself. There's so much that had to be let go. Yeah, I approval of others, like just living in wanting approval. I grew up in so much of that, and dropping the need for that off, and
You
just accepting the um, with gratitude what was actually true for me, instead of going out and seeking it and
Yeah.
getting into situations that I that's what I dropped off. I let go of that, if that makes any sense.
It does. It does.
Okay.
Because I had to do it too. I think when we're in service in the beginning, we're doing it. Of course, we have this innate desire to serve, but there's also this secondary thing of being seen or being appreciated or validated, or, the ego part of it is
Yeah. Yeah.
subliminally driving us, even though we do have big hearts and we are committed to service because that's part of our mission here.
Yeah.
So it felt very organic.
Yeah.
But if I got very real with myself, which I had to do, and go, why am I really doing this? What is driving me
Yes.
at the core? And it
Yes.
was a lot of it was to be seen and to be loved. And because I felt that lacking within myself, and
Yes. Yeah. The
I
whole
was
structure.
trying to fill a void within myself that can only be filled by me loving me.
Yes.
I was trying to fill a void with approval and with achievement and with perfection and all the things that come organically when you are born into this density and you've had these lifetimes of past lives of patterns and programs, and then you come in to heal them, right? But you put yourself in environments that recreate the pattern so you can heal it,
Yeah.
right? So it's like,
Yes. Yeah.
wow, there's a lot of the deck was really stacked against me, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying, to get here is hard. It was really hard.
It is. It is. But I mean, that there's the perfection of it all, though, too, right?
Yeah.
It's all set in place for us to go through it
Yeah.
and get through it
Yeah.
and become stronger because of it.
Mhm.
like we've been doing this for lifetimes, right?
Oh,
Over and over and
oh
over
yeah,
again. And it's, and I mean, does it feel like to you, Wendy, like this one is the one that you've chosen to change it? Like this,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely. And then what you don't understand when you're in it is the freedom and the beauty that waits for you on the other side. When
Mm-hmm.
you set yourself free energetically and emotionally and literally, you are so anchored into your truth and your power. It gives you the courage to really step forward as yourself, your authentic self, and just allow everyone to feel or believe whatever they need to
Yeah.
about
Yes. Okay.
you, about what your message is or how you're showing up, but just like allow everyone to have their own opinion and go, okay, duly noted, you know. That doesn't impact who I am or the work I do, but if that's your perspective, okay, you know,
It is. It
it's not
is.
a trigger
Everybody.
anymore. And it's just so
Yeah.
empowering not to be triggered anymore.
It is. It's very grounding, right?
Yeah,
It's I
yeah,
feel like a tree these
yeah,
days. You know, and I do, and when I get shook, I just remind myself. I
yeah,
like you know, that little ego will come back in and try
yeah,
and show its face and like, no, 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 allow it to be. Let
yeah.
it all be. Let everybody, like you said, think what they think and see what they see.
Yeah, yeah. I just really lost almost, I just got more silent. Like I
Mm,
just didn't need to prove anything. But I have just seen you. We've known each other for 6 years, which is so incredible to think about. But I've just seen you blossom into this. I mean, you were a gorgeous human anyway, but you've just really, I can feel your soul really just expand and exhale and be able to hold more light because of the journey and the work you've done. And now you're able to really give back to humanity in such a huge way because you are flying on these flights just touching hundreds of people every single day with your joy and your love and your light. So I think it's such a perfect marriage of, you know, your mission here and then also your work and
thank you.
passion to be able to
Thank you.
travel and
Yeah.
be part of a
It,
community.
yeah, it fulfills so many things. Like just this choosing to do this is fulfilling so many different things, like you said. And I'm inspired by you, Wendy. I just
Oh, thank
I've
you.
really learned by you over the years through
Thank
our
you.
conversations, um, through reading everything that you have to share too.
Thank
That's really something that I've taken to heart, and it's something that helps me. Your style of what you just explained helps me to do the exact same thing. That's all I want to do.
you. Yeah.
Like my whole taking the years I was at Trader Joe's
Yeah.
and all the lettering and everything. So I thought, okay, side hustle. I'm gonna make cards and I'm gonna do these things and use my lettering and do and and I thought about it. I thought about it, and what made sense to me was not making it a business. The business part stopped me in
Yeah.
that. I do see the value in my work. I understand, but
Yeah.
I just want to share those little tidbits of information, draw them in a creative way,
Yeah.
and then give them to people. I want to gift
I
this.
love that. I
I
do. I want to do that too, which is why you know, so many people who are spiritual teachers and walking the path, um, you know, and I understand, of course, the need to generate revenue to survive, but
sure,
also so many get really caught up in the numbers
yeah,
and they're so numbers driven, money driven. How can I monetize every single platform? And I'm not criticizing that at all. I think
sure,
if that's you're going to learn something about yourself through that journey, and you're going to shore up your confidence by having, you know, thousands of followers or whatever it is that you're shooting for. But I really want to create a world where we can just work through like energetic exchange.
yeah,
I really want to be in a situation where it's a win-win, where I can gift you something and you gift me something back, and we have this synergy of community and everybody wins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's just kind of a
complete.
core value for me. So, that's just something that I think change starts with us. If you want to change the world,
Yeah,
we have to be the change. We have to live true to our principles and our alignment, and we have to practice and create the world we want to live in.
completely.
Right? And
Completely.
so, yeah, and also, Dustin, I want to say thank you so much for that beautiful reflection to me because I don't get a lot of replies. I just put this
Yeah.
content out all the time. So I'm just very grateful for your beautiful words to know that I was able to help you some way on your journey, really.
Yeah, you continue to. Yeah, you do daily, right?
I
It
do.
really is that. It's those small pieces, and some days it's heavily resonating. And I just whoa, okay, thank you for sharing with. I
I'm just
really
grateful
needed
that
that.
you look at my page, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Like it
No,
really
well,
means a
it's
lot.
through your consistency and how everything works. And that's where I kind of want to go with it as well. Your consistency, you're the first one that pops up every time I
Oh,
open it. You're the
makes me
first
so
one that
happy.
pops up. I was
Thank you
like,
so
wow,
much.
okay, this is beautiful. But there's you are doing your part, and you are doing that for free to people. I'm sorry, for people. You are spreading the light. We're doing the same thing. We have the same
Yeah, we do.
idea here, right?
For
And
sure.
just and it's our own creative way. Your posts are very creative. It takes, I'm sure, a lot of time to
Yeah,
do, whether it's the ones of photos or the ones of
right.
the messages to me, and like it's
But I think we really need to be authentic in life.
oh yeah,
And that's what we
without a
really want
doubt.
to showcase here, right? Like you get to go out and be your beautiful self in service and just really be authentic. I think also the stronger we get, the more resilience we have, um, the less judgmental we are because we are able to see with compassion the struggle that that person might be having. They might
Yeah,
be going through losing a parent, or their wife might have cancer, or they might have lost a child,
yeah,
or been through a trauma, or feel broken. I mean, there's so many people that lash out because they're in pain.
yeah,
And I think it's important right now because a lot of people are going through a lot of change. There's a lot of people letting go of relationships because the alignments aren't there and the frequencies are really forcing alignment in a lot of ways. So there's a lot of grieving going
yeah,
on and broken hearts out there. So I try to be compassionate when I get flipped off. I got flipped off a couple weeks ago. And I thought she must be going through a hard time,
yeah,
I
yeah.
But old me would have just put my car in park and like gotten out. I was kind of
Right,
a fighter in the old days.
right.
My 20-year-old self was like, I'm gonna pound someone, Which is so funny because that's not who I really am. But I've come a long way and I'm just trying to be more kind and compassionate because everybody's going through something
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
That's the biggest part of that. I didn't, hard to admit this, but I didn't know compassion for a long time. I really didn't. And a girlfriend of mine shared exactly what you just said. Everybody's going through something.
Yeah.
And it clicked. And I was like,
Oh my God.
oh. It so took the pressure of what I was going through off me. Like
Wow.
it instantly, that was an instant like eye opening, heart opening, soul opening. It made all the sense to me because it's so the truth. And anybody who is going through that, if you give them that space of compassion,
Yeah.
however you see fit,
Yeah.
you'll see them understand that you're giving them that space and that grace, and
They
they'll
feel it.
apologize, right?
Yeah.
They'll oh hey, I'm
They
going through
feel
something.
it.
Hey, I have a real rough day. I've had a they
Yeah.
oh, thank you for the
For
space to
sure.
allow me. Yeah.
For sure. I'm also trying to, okay, so I see beautiful people everywhere. And I
Same.
never say anything, but I've decided I'm just going to start telling people that they look beautiful, men and women,
Yeah.
because I'll tell you, and it comes from my heart because they really do look amazing, or I could just feel their energy or their joy. And I've had so many great connections, like in the grocery store parking lot, that turns into like a little couple minutes of banter, or
Mm,
it's just been so fun. It's been kind of a new thing I've incorporated into
beautiful.
my life. And, who doesn't want to hear you look beautiful today?
Yeah.
Right? It just puts a
Right.
smile on their face and they're just caught off guard, but I really mean it. I mean, there's just so many beautiful people in the world. And I think we get so lost in the media and
Yeah,
the program of negativity
we do.
that we forget, So I know you have an opportunity just to touch millions of people in your career, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds for you. And the next evolution. It's not going to be 6 years again before I have you on my podcast.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
believe it's
We'll
been
do
so
this more
long.
often because it is the evolution of that of how we reach out and how we touch and how we grow through that, right? Not only ourselves, but how we help our community grow, how we help those that we are in contact with grow. So it's and we're doing that in so many ways, and may we keep inspiring each other.
Yeah. You recently moved to Colorado, Dustin.
Mm.
Tell me what it's like for you to be out there. Have you met anyone? Are you starting to find your people, or are there any other flight attendants based there that you might have known before? Or
Um, it's been a rough adjustment to be honest. I'm about 45 minutes from the mountains. And today I thought, oh, I'm going to do the podcast, and what am I, where am I going to do? I'm like, no, no, I'm going to the mountains. I'm going to go find myself a good signal.
right? Yeah, that's helpful. Green, green.
And I was traveling around the other day, the day that I lost that work, that I lost that layover. I was traveling through this little town that I'm in right now, and and I found an amazing like full bar 5G spot. I was like, oh great, here we go. Okay, so
Wow.
that's what made me come back here today.
Amazing.
Yeah, because I mean everything else is satellite SOS. There's really you can get far and away real quick around here,
Yeah.
um, and I've had to work through a lot of loneliness. I've had to work through a lot of um, things that I previously let go, like the oh, there's nothing here. Oh, there's, oh, I'm just kind of like, I'm living in the suburbs and I'm, doing this, which is absolutely amazing. I live with my aunt. She brought us in
I love
and
it.
let my girlfriend and I stay. And then we were about to move out. And she's like, why don't you just stay with me?
Oh,
And now she wants to move on. She's going to retire here next year. And she wants to move on. She wants us to take care of the house. Like, I mean, I just couldn't ask
oh
for
my
anything
gosh.
better,
This
you
is so
know?
beautiful.
So I'm learning to let the, I don't know, I want to say the crybaby in me, like let that go and like, oh, poor me. I live so far. Like, look what you have,
I know.
like,
Oh
and
my
not a mean way, with compassion to myself, but like,
God.
go play in the mountains. You can just go play in the mountains. Like, here, you got
Yeah.
it all here. And honestly, to anybody listening, if you've never been to Colorado, any road you take is glorious. Like it is absolutely amazing up here. And
Amazing.
I have been so fortunate in my life to live in absolutely gorgeous places. I
You
think we might
have.
have had a conversation about this right before I got this job. I, and I think you were asking me like, where do you think you'll be? And what do you, I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't even know till my first week of training.
Yeah.
And then I ended up in Colorado and I think I told you, I said, I've been so blessed with having like breathtaking places to live, from
Yeah.
California to Hawaii, spent some time in Tahiti and
Yeah.
Caribbean and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, from living in the mountains in California and then to move here to be somewhat acclimated to the altitude, but like this is such a nature's playground, and this is where I thrive. I mean, to be able to forest bathe and
So
speak with
perfect.
you and
So perfect.
like it just it
So
fills my
perfect.
soul, and so I am learning to use the time that I have off a little bit less flying in the in between the summer and the winter vacations, or sorry, winter holidays, and
Hmm.
then it just kind of cycles a little bit as I'm learning. So with
Right.
this other time off, I'm getting into mountain biking and of
Nice.
course hiking and all this kind of stuff. So I'm finding my way, and it's taken a while.
I
It
feel like
has
you're filling your
taken a while.
bank though, for sure.
Oh yeah,
I
oh
don't
yeah,
see you sitting around like feeling bad for long. You're like, I'm gonna go for a hike or I could
yeah,
it's
yeah.
literally right there, right?
It's
So
literally right there. And the journey to get here is beautiful too. I listen to a podcast, or I get inspired by beautiful music, or I stop and find a new bike path to take that's close to my house. Or there's
yeah,
so much um
to explore.
there's so much out there, and I just I'm getting better at this. Instead of expecting everything to take care of me and give me something, I'm surrendering and allowing it to just happen as it does. That's a rough one for me.
That's powerful.
Ooh, and it's
That
not
is
an easy
really
one to
powerful.
do.
You
Not
don't
an
know
easy
what's
one to do.
coming, but you know something magical will come when you see
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of doing that too. One thing that I got in connection with myself, I always call it my messages from me to me, was to stop asking how.
Ooh, big one.
Like I was just commanded to just stop. Do not ask that question ever. You have faith and you go forward. That's it.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to go down the rabbit hole, right?
Yes.
Like, how am I going to pay for that? What if this? How is that going to happen? How is such a limiting word? And I realized that when I was told by myself, like, that question is not allowed to be asked
Yeah.
ever again. And I was like,
Beautiful.
okay, you
Yeah.
know, okay, I'm just going to have faith and go.
Yeah.
Kind of where I'm at. Do you have any parting words, like, or something you can offer to anyone listening that might still be kind of in the depths of it, in the process of letting go of things and maybe struggling a little bit? They haven't kind of crested to the other side. What was something that's really helped you? I loved your idea of writing with a dry erase marker on.
Yeah. I mean,
I love that.
that's a very powerful action. Huh. Allow me to say, allow me to share, we can't receive uh, hmm, we can only give out the amount of love we feel for ourselves.
Right.
We really can, as much as our cup is full in love with ourselves is the amount that we can spill out to others. I know there's a more eloquent way of saying that, yet it's so true. It's
Yeah.
brought me to the relationship that I've never thought that I would be in. I am so, and it promotes me to just keep doing more
Right.
and more, and working on ways to love myself, and working on ways to trust myself, and knowing that we live this life to experience all of this. We're not going to get away from the pain. We're not going to get away from the struggle. We're not going to get away from the challenges. They're here in place for us. This is life is working is for me. It's not happening to me. I
Hmm.
get to do these things. I don't got to do anything,
Yeah.
actually. I get to do this life. And that's what we wake up for in gratitude every day. I wake up for in gratitude every day, some days more than others. But let that flow be what it is.
Wow. You almost made me cry there, buddy. Words
It's
of wisdom.
it's the gratitude that I am amazed of where I was 6 years ago and
Yeah.
where would I get to lay my head down on my pillow each night and I'm like, whoa, again, again. Ooh, yeah, the hairs are standing up on the. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah, it is. But it's really this. All of the things that I've heard and shared, or been shared with from people, no matter if it's social media or friends or an acquaintance or somebody I strike up a conversation in the parking lot. It's all take all that in, let it resonate, keep with you what
Yeah.
does resonate, let the rest go, and just allow yourself to do that. And no one else can do that for you. We all have to do it on our own. We all have to go through it on our own and make this life our own.
Yeah.
We're just here to help each other. We're here just to help walk each other home. That's all there is
I
to it.
love it. Thank you so much for being here with us, Dustin. I've loved every moment with you.
No,
And to my audience, thank you guys for joining us. Go out, love yourselves, have a beautiful day, and I will see you guys next time.